Welcome to Valley News Now. Adam Shalford joined by Lisa Green. Lisa, this is my favorite time of year.
Isn't it beautiful?
It really is.
Got some gorgeous colors that will be starting to change. I've seen a few trees that are already starting to turn a little bit. And we're also talking about frost, which also starts up this time of year. And you know, you get those nice crisp fall mornings. You can go out and take in the beautiful colors, and we're just now starting to get into it.
Absolutely, and that's what we're talking about today, frost and foliage. And I think it's just a little poetic. You know, we had our first NFL game.
Oh, sure.
And then, you know, our first NDSU and UND home games this season. It really is starting to feel like the beginning of fall.
Yeah.
And I'm a Scorpio, and so, you know,
Okay.
I got that birthday coming up in a
You
little bit
do.
here, but I really enjoy the temperatures. It's just kind of that Goldilocks, just
Yep.
right when you get into some of that, and so I'm looking forward to kind of breaking out the flannel.
Yes.
I'm not a big pumpkin spice latte guy,
well,
but
maybe like a cinnamon apple kind of thing.
okay, I
you
can
know?
deal with the
Do
little
that.
apples, sure,
I
sure.
love those flavors. That's just as much fall too.
Or the Oktoberfest if you're a
Oh,
beer
there you
person.
go.
You
Yeah,
know,
like
so
all the good things.
yeah, a
coming
lot
up
of good
here.
things come with fall. Yeah.
Exactly. Frost, you know, is a concern right now because, you know, people still have their gardens going and, you know, growing season's still happening, though it is starting to come to an end. So we want to talk about that because we're kind of getting right into that time when frost starts to happen. We get our first frosts, our first freezes in September and heading into October. And, you know, we've got a cold night ahead tonight. We've had this little kind of taste of fall with the temperatures cooling down this week. So I thought it'd be a good time to start talking about that and
Absolutely.
get you prepared. So yeah, so let's first talk about the frost that we are going to be watching for this month. And just a quick little, you know, explainer on how frost forms. You have certain conditions you need. First of all, we know we need freezing temperatures, right, for that to happen. Well, one thing to keep in mind is temperatures don't have to be at freezing for that to occur when we are reporting the temperature to you. So when you see me come on and I say it's, you know, 36 degrees in Fargo, that does not mean that we won't have frost, because here's why. Temperatures are taken about 5 feet off the ground.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, yeah. So they're, you know, they're on a weather station about 5 feet off the ground. And it's crazy to think about that, but, you know, 5 feet can be a big difference between 36 degrees and 32 degrees at the surface where
Interesting.
that frost would
So,
form.
okay, because I guess hot air rises.
Sure.
Sure,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So there can be a difference in temperature. And the other thing to note is, you know, our temperatures that we report are single sites. You know, we've got that temperature in Fargo at the airport. That's our official number. But the FM Metro is a big metro, and oftentimes it's a different temperature in one place from another. It could be a little cool. We've got, you know, places in the valley that tend to be a little cooler than locations even nearby. So that's why we talk about frost forming when the temperature is above 32, the measured temperature.
Okay, yeah, because that was kind of the first question that was
Yeah.
coming into my head, because
Yeah.
I haven't seen any 32s, but sure, we are getting into those mid 40s and
Yeah.
high 30s and stuff.
Right, exactly. So we're getting very close. So again, for frost to form, you need temperature to get to freezing on the surface that the frost would form.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And then, you know, some other things that can help to contribute to that is clear skies and calm winds. Both of those things allow the atmosphere to settle and cool down a lot faster. And so that's when you get temperatures dropping a lot more. So if we're talking about a night where it's going to be clear and quiet, temperatures may be dropping a little more rapidly, and we may end up getting down to that dew point when we would see on a warmer day dew form, but on a colder day it would be frost forming.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how frost forms. And here's a look at our forecast for tomorrow, because we've been talking about temperatures overnight that'll be getting a little bit cool. This is specifically for Saturday, for tomorrow in Fargo. And our temperature, 44 degrees, our forecast right now. We may lower this a little bit just to give you a heads up. But again, you know, in the 40s, so, you know, doing okay. Sky conditions will be clear, and we are looking at pretty light wind coming up for tomorrow morning, around that 5-mile-per-hour range. So there are some factors in there that we'll be watching for heading into tomorrow for Fargo. And just a reminder about our
Ooh, this is a
frost and
fun
freeze.
graphic.
Yes, I love that animation
That's fun.
of the
Yeah,
frost
that's
forming.
really cool.
Well, again, frost is when temperatures are 32 to 36. So that's when, you know, there might be some damage to some of our more sensitive vegetation out there.
Sure.
A hard freeze, a freeze and a hard freeze can be killing freezes, where they would not just damage the leaves, but they would kill the entire plant. So frost is 32 to 36 degrees. degrees. Freeze is 28 to 32, and then a hard freeze is below 28. So
I had a plant, and I put it on the outside porch one time, and I'm like, this is great. The plant's going to feel like it's on vacation.
Yeah,
it's going to be
some
great.
fresh air.
And then, you know, the temperatures dropped at night, and I almost killed it. And it was horrible. It recovered. It's a money tree. His name is Kendrick.
Okay.
And Kendrick's doing a lot better.
Good.
But, you know, yeah, that's something, you know, I thought, because there's such a substantial drop, but I didn't think that it was going to be something that could actually really hurt a plant.
Sure.
And it's typically an indoor plant, you know.
Right.
But
It's not hardened to the outside air.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful with that with your indoor plants, especially this time of year. And if you do have some gardens out there, and there's a night where we're kind of talking about maybe a little bit of frost, you can, if they're potted, make sure you bring them in just to be safe. And you know, plants that are planted in the ground, you can always cover with a sheet or something like that. That will help to keep them going a little longer before that hard freeze happens a little bit later in the season too. So something to keep in mind there. So you know, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about freeze, frost. You know, there's different definitions of what those are. And I did want to talk about our average freeze and frost dates, because today's the 6th, right? Thorholtz, this is a community in the Northern Valley. The average frost date is today. So
how about it?
That gives you an idea that, you know, we are certainly well within range of having frost in the valley this time of year. And for Fargo, September 20th, so a little while from now, but a reminder, averages are just that. That's average of extremes.
Exactly,
you know?
2 weeks from today. So.
Yeah, we could see frost before that. We could see frost after that. And Grand Forks is a little sooner, of course, as you would expect. Northern Valley, it's a little sooner. Cooperstown, another community in the Northern Valley, a few days from now is our average frost date. And of course, freeze is a little bit later, more into late September and heading into October. A little more of a range with that too. So again, we're well within that timeline of potentially seeing some frost. So, you know, we talked about Fargo's forecast. We got down to 46 degrees today in Fargo. I want to point out next to you there, Adam, Bemidji, what's the temperature from this morning?
Oh, Bemidji. 39.
Got down to 39. So we have seen one community drop down into the upper 30s. And I think we'll see more of that potentially tomorrow, especially in our eastern viewing area, being that greater chance. So if you are at all concerned, you could go ahead and take those precautions tonight. We'll take a look at our forecast here for the day for tomorrow. This is for Saturday morning. And again, Fargo, kind of into those mid-40s, but there are some places in the valley where we'll likely be more in the lower 40s. Again, over by Bemidji, Wadena, those areas may see more of those upper 30s that we'll be watching for, and some low 40s elsewhere too possible. So kind of close, but not within, you know, that range where we're talking about 36 necessarily.
Sure.
I can't rule it out, but we're more likely to be in the 40s to start tomorrow. So that might have you thinking more about fall as well as you are stepping out the door and it's a little bit chilly out there.
That's good. Windows, maybe cracked weather.
Yeah, just a little bit. It might
not,
get a little too cold.
Full open.
Yeah, but you know, kind of that classic crisp fall morning forecast for tomorrow. We're going to have sunshine. And after tomorrow, we start warming up. So this is, you know, our concern for tomorrow. But for the next week after that, and I should have included our 11-day planner here, but you can look at it on the VNL Weather app. But after that, our mornings will get warmer for about a week or so at least. So this is kind of our one concern as far as chilly temperatures and the remote chance of frost, but a little bit of frost.
Hey, as long as we're not talking snow yet.
No, we're not there yet.
Let's wait till October.
Not there yet. And you know, it might get you, you know, feeling that fall feels tomorrow morning. Maybe you want to go out and try to find some fall colors.
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about fall foliage. We're not quite there yet, but this is from the Minnesota DNR. They're really great about releasing fall foliage forecasts on their website. And they just updated their map today for the start of the season. And you can see we are in the green, so 0 to 10%. But I have seen that 10% in parts of the valley. In North Dakota, we also have some areas that report fall foliage as well, but we don't have this nice little map here that we got to show you for the fall foliage forecast coming up throughout the season here. So in the green right now, not quite there just yet. I did want to show the kind of the average peak dates around the country.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and this one is, this is kind of average. Take it with a grain of salt. You might be in an area that tends to turn more fall-like a little bit sooner. But early October is the peak in places like the Northern Valley. I would say up by the Pembina Gorge, even into late September, we often see fall colors really go in there, and into that Boundary Waters area in Minnesota too. More mid-October into the valleys when we would expect to see that full foliage peak as well in more parts of the valley, North Dakota and into Minnesota. So that's what we'll be looking for. Make your leaf peeping plans as we head into the season here. We are starting to see those colors turn just slightly right now. But if we get more frosty mornings, that is one of the accelerators, we'll say, of starting to turn those colors.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and just looking at this map and reflecting on some of the various locations I've lived, yes, this does seem to be, this checks out. Yeah, because I'm from right around here, and yeah, it's more Halloweenish.
Yes.
Is when you're really getting those peaks.
Meanwhile, here we sometimes have snow on Halloween.
Yeah. So
yeah, it is very different around the country, and obviously higher elevations, it's going to be even sooner than here in the valley because it gets colder there faster. They've already had some snow up in Glacier National Park, even before Labor Day there. So it's been an early start for some of those upper elevation areas in the west.
Sure, and that's where you're getting into the late September, early October.
Yeah, and this is again average. You could see peak color before these times or after, but it helps to give us an idea of what to expect as we head into the season.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you're excited about fall now?
I'm very excited.
I think you've already been excited about
I'm
fall.
excited. I'm a big Chicago Bears fan, and I've been waiting for decades and decades to have any glimmer of hope.
Is this their year?
And so we'll see. I think they're going to be serviceable, not embarrassing, and that'll be nice because they've been embarrassing.
That's an improvement.
And that's why they call them the Bears, because it's short for embarrassing. But no, I'm very excited about everything that comes with it. A little apple cider, maybe a little apple picking.
Sure.
Big apples guy. I'm not a pumpkins.
No.
I think pumpkins are super overrated. I think I enjoy a pumpkin pie.
Oh, see,
that's
I
as
do not.
far as I go with it.
I like pumpkin spice. I do not like pumpkin pie.
Now, so what about you? What's your favorite fall food?
Oh gosh, I do like apple stuff.
Okay.
Like apple crisp, apple cobbler, that kind of stuff. Apple dumplings. We have an orchard where I'm from, right here, not too far from you.
Okay.
That does a really good apple dumpling, and that's a fond memory growing up.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Apple dumpling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. But you know what? I do like other pumpkin flavored things. Have you ever had a pumpkin roll with the cream cheese in it?
No.
Oh, it's good. I mean, maybe you need to try that, and you'll change your mind.
Yeah, I got to open my horizons a little bit. We'll see. And then, I don't know if there's more of a winter food, but looking forward to getting into that, like, shepherd's pie weather, but I feel like that's more of a November dish, November to February.
We're not quite there yet, and I'm not ready for that yet. I don't know about you, but I
got to get a little comfy cozy first.
Yeah, we got to get in that weather first before that happens, and it may not be for a little while. I mean, in our extended planner, we're looking at getting back into the 80s next week. So so we're talking fall, we're talking frost, but really just getting a little taste of it today and tomorrow.
Sneak preview.
There you go.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much. Anything else before we let you go here?
Well, I'll try to come back and give updates on it, so you can make your leaf peeping plans to go out to the state parks around the area, to check out the fall foliage, let you know where we're peaking, where it's really starting to show throughout the season coming up.
And I know that you guys collect a lot of amazing viewer photos too. Great. One last thing, just remind people where they can send those in, because I can't wait to see some of the things collected from the area.
Right, yeah, and if you've got one right now, again, I've seen a few leaves starting to change. You can upload this to valleynewslive.com. There's a submit button right there, and even easier, right from your phone on the VNL weather app. There's a submit button right at the bottom that you can easily just click and upload your photo.
Awesome. Well, Lisa, have a great weekend, and everyone watching back at home on your tablet, computer, however you're consuming this, have a great weekend. Enjoy some fall sneak previews. Enjoy the football. We'll see you next time on Valley News Now.